Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Chris Bottger's Album Club. Hey, that's me. Today with me I have Ben,
Return of the Thin White Duke.
Matthew,
Lead them to paradise.
and Santiago.
Hello.
Um, Today, of course, as usual, we will have two albums, and we will go and we'll give our initial impressions on them, and then we will listen to the albums, and we will give our thoughts on the albums, and say which one we liked better, so we kind of have some matchup here. So today, the albums are Never Mind the Bullocks, Here's the Sex Pistols by the Sex Pistols, and Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd.
Oh my god.
I know! It's so weird that the random number generator spat this pilling
Wait,
out.
what?
Oh my god.
Wait, what?
You heard it?
Never mind the bullocks. Here's the Sex Pistols.
And Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd.
I feel like I was expecting something else.
These are two albums you commonly see on, like, list of best albums of the 1970s. You also tend to see them both on, like, list of best albums of all time. So, this video is certainly going to be a doozy. Let's get it on. Ben, what are your thoughts? What are your initial thoughts going into this?
I am, of course, putting in a pure party vote for what's going on.
What?
We're not too picking what album's better yet, Ben.
What's going on? It's not pure party check.
Okay, well, Ben apparently has no initial thoughts. Matthew, what are your initial thoughts on these albums?
I've heard both of these albums. One of these albums is by one of my favorite bands of all time. I've mentioned that album plenty of times.
I'm assuming you mean, Wish You Were Here, right?
Yeah, I was honestly talking about Wish You Were Here.
Because I didn't think Matthew was I didn't think the Sex Pistols were one of his favorite bands of all time.
Well, I have a best friend of mine who loves the Sex Pistols. So the other one is a band that my best friend says that is one of her favorite bands. That's all I have to say.
Santiago, what are your initial thoughts on these albums?
Uh, well, I know that the Wish You Were Here is quite well known album by Pink Floyd. I heard it before, but I heard it like a long time ago, so it's great to return to it. The other one I never heard. Never mind the Bollocks. There's the Sex Pistols. Never heard of it before. Either the art, the band itself. I don't know about them, but yeah, I'm intrigued, curious to listen to it and find out if I would like it or not.
Alright, Ben, have you settled down enough to be able to give your impressions on these albums?
Yes. So all I have to say is, obviously I have heard Wish You Were Here before. That is an excellent album. That I don't think I've listened to Number of Mine Bullocks, Here's the Sex Pistols. I do know the song Anarchy in the UK though, obviously. But I feel like it's just another. I feel like the UK is just another country. That song is. I don't know. Sometimes it's just stuck in my head, even though I don't know if I would say it's like great. But it's like an iconic punk song anyway.
Ben, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you think Anarchy of the UK is a better song than London Calling?
No.
Obviously. Well, as for me, I'm not super familiar with the Sex Pistols. I've never listened to this album. I have listened to Wish You Were Here. I have Wish You Were Here on vinyl, obviously. So, I mean, I'm not a huge punk fan. I like the Clash, but other than them, I'm not like a huge like punk devotee. So I mean, I think I know probably how this video is gonna go for me, but we'll see. Maybe I'll come out as like a Sex Pistols true believer. You just never
I
know.
think
But I like
I
Wish You
think
Were Here. So it's a great album. So I will say that I'm not gonna come out of this video hating Wish You Were Here because I don't.
I think I know where I'm gonna lean with this album. I mean this episode.
I think most of us except for Santiago know where we're gonna go. Uh,
We're going with What's Going On by Marvin Gaye. That's where
we're,
we're
go-
going.
we're going with an album
Yeah.
we're not even there. We're all gonna
Yeah.
find it.
Yes. We'll see me. I'll let you.
All right, now we're gonna go and listen to these albums. And we'll be right back to give our thoughts on them. So stay tuned. All right, now we've gone and listened to albums, and we're back to give our thoughts on them. The first album was Nevermind the Bollocks, Hills of Sex Pistols. And we are going to be starting, as usual, with you, Ben. Ben, what are your thoughts on this album?
Can for this album only, can we have Matthew and then me?
All right, Matthew.
I despise this album. um, it's just an obnoxious album. I know I might offend some Sex Pistols fans, including one that I know and love, but this album is trash. It's just like an extremely. It's not even the good abrasive. Like we have listened to abrasive albums by like Soundgarden and Nirvana, but they're like good and they feel like genuine into the stuff that they were saying. And as this, and especially as it's trying to be punk, it's like a manufactured type of punk. Like even like the Clash, which isn't really that punk. Like they're basically pop rock. Like Joe Strummer is a more genuine punk than the lead singer of Sex Pistols. Very obvious how very vocal Joe Strummer was on his political viewpoints, even identifying himself as a socialist. This other guy's basically like, yeah, I'm a punk, but I don't really understand what punk is, and it's just like kind of edgelord crap, and yeah, that's it.
All right, Ben, we're doing you.
Okay. So, when I first started listening to this album, I listened to the first two songs, and then I was like, I am stopping. I cannot do this. Because of what's in the song bodies, which is edgelord. It's like a very graphic depiction of abortion. I was like, I'm not dealing with this anymore. I honestly don't regret going back to the album, though. Like, I was initially very hostile to it. I think many of the things Matthew says about it are true. It's not like a great album. I do think the guitar. I mean, Johnny Vaughn's voice is annoying to me. I think the guitar riffs and stuff were pretty simple, pretty decent though. And like as we went on, it became tolerable at least. Like, yeah, I think it became. Initially, my reaction to it was, I think, kind of like Matthew's. What the hell is going on here? Even though I like punk. But as the thing went on, it became maybe even vaguely pleasant. Maybe not pleasant, but like it. I think the album is less bad than Matthew thinks. I'm not gonna say it's a great album. It's obviously way overhyped. The Clash were much better songwriters, much better singles, much better. And the instrumentation is just a lot more rich. This is more punk than a lot of the Clash stuff because it is simpler. And there's a sense in which, yeah, like the anarchism here and like anarchy in the UK is not the like actual ideology anarchism and more just like we want to smash shit. Um, which is like not ideal. That being said, there is like sort of I think actual punkness here that's not manufactured here. Like these are not. I mean, Bernard Rhodes when he made this Sex Pistols and also the Clash, is not. I mean, it is in a sense creating bands, but like I think that there is like these people are genuinely from the punk scene. They're not very developed. They're not good people in many cases. Honestly, I'm not sure about Johnny Rotten himself. His politics are bad, but as a person, he honestly seems better than you think. Um, but he is definitely edgelord. I think there's more sincerity here than Matthew's giving credit for. It's not real. I mean, it's not anarchism in the sense of like the ideology. Is it like a real expression of like the punk scene? Yeah, I think so. At that time, it's a very underdeveloped punk scene. It's very nascent, and yeah, I'll agree. Like, destroy is like, I mean, some anarchists are like that, but that's not like really representative of like anarchism as an ideology. But like, I do think that that is a real sentiment. It's a very middle class sentiment. Johnny Bonham himself said this before, but it's a very middle class sentiment that you have to be somewhat secure for this type of anarchism. Um, to really appeal to you that, well, without going into more politics, I guess I'm not going to really forward with that. But there's kind of a privilege to it in a weird way that is a rebellion against alienation, kind of like we saw with the 60s. So it's a crisis of alienation continuing on. Albeit punks, historically, punk as a whole ends up being, including at this time, a lot more working class in nature than, say, the 60s counterculture. In well, the 60s counterculture in the sense of like the hippies and stuff were. That's more complicated when you get into like Black Panthers and stuff, which are definitely working class phenomena. Um, I'll agree that kind of the form that lyrically, at least, it takes in this is pretty middle class. Um, that being said, I do think that there's more sincerity here. It's not just faking. What even is faking in a sense? Like art is inherently kind of about. This is inherently a performative art, and I think that there is some sincerity here that Matthew has not identified. I guess has identified the messiness of it, and has reflected on that only negatively. That being said, do I think that the politics in this album are good? I mean, they're good in the sense that they're like calling out like very authoritarian structures, but otherwise, not really. It is a very destructive impulse, in a way that I think is not helpful. But I think that is still a destructive impulse. It's not completely manufactured here.
All right, Santiago, we're gonna go over to you. What were your thoughts on this album?
Uh, well, I'm not a fan. I will not. Sorry, I will not say I'm a fan of punk music. So finds this it was kind of a punk album, I would say. So I really didn't enjoy it at all. Like being very very honest here, I could not even finish listening the whole album. Like there were like four or three songs left, but I had to stop because I don't know, I wasn't enjoying it at all. You know, there was nothing I could take from it, like anything. Like the whole style, I feel that like there's a lack of harmonies or something there. Like sorry if any punk fan who's listening right now gets offended, but as for me, it's just I just can't, like I just can't listen to this kind of stuff. It's it was hard for me to finish this album because yeah, I was not enjoying it at all.
All right. Well, as for me, I can't say I really cared much for this album either way. I honestly think maybe of everyone here, I was the one who liked it the best. But it just kind of sounded like your poster boy, angry white punk album. Um, not as good as The Clash. Not as good as that Susie and the Banshees album we listened to, which was kind of punk new wave. Um, yeah, I mean, it just kind of was, is the thing with this album. I mean, it wanted, I think, so bad to be political, but it kind of ended up being a bit of a nothing burger on that front. Not really sure how they managed it, but they did. Um, so yeah, I mean, I wasn't really sure what was going on. I will say that one song, Ben mentioned bodies. That's a bad song. I don't really understand what's up with that. That's kind of a vile sentiment in that song. I'm gonna say. Um, but yeah, it's it is kind of just what it is. I've never understood really why this album's so popular, and now listening to the whole thing, I'm even more confused as to why a bunch of music critics and whatever seem to think this is like one of the greatest albums of all time. This is just one of the most kind of, it's trying so hard not to be bland, it ends up being bland. This is, I think, kind of what it is. It's not really sure how that happened, but it did. So yeah, I mean that's basically my thoughts. It's just kind of mediocre, mediocre as hell. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. All right. Well, anyone have anything else they want to say on this album?
The song Anarchy in the UK, while not well sung, is pretty iconic, nevertheless. But yes, I'll agree. The song Bodies, yeah, drove me away from this album. And yeah, we don't need that. I mean, in a sense, I also think that is sincere in a way. But, like, yeah, we don't need that. Or I don't need that. I mean, I'm not gonna, like, call for its destruction or anything. But, like, I don't need that.
It's a Benjamin moment. All right. Well, moving on. The next album is, of course, Pink Floyd's "Wish You Were Here." Um, hopefully, we have some strong feelings about this one. Possibly in the other direction. We're gonna start with you, Ben.
Yes, this is a very great album. Like, let's be honest, this is just a very high quality album. It's one of the kind of all albums of Pink Floyd. I would say highlights on here are obviously "Shine On You Crazy Diamond" and "Wish You Were Here." But the other two songs, "Welcome to the Machine" and "Have a Cigar," also great songs. I mean, this is an album that only has 5 tracks, two of which are like parts of each other. But like, yeah, this is a very good, really great album. It has like wonderful instrumentation, kind of iconic lyrics, um, good singing. It all flows together nicely, kind of like on the previous album, Dark Side of the Moon. It's a good album. Oh, good is probably good is definitely a massive understatement. This is a very great album. Is it my favorite album of all time? No. Is this still like a very high quality of like the albums that we've done on the album club? Like, is this real high up there? Yeah, yeah, it is. It's very high up there. Um, yeah, I don't know what else to say. I've heard this album multiple times before, so I don't really have any new thoughts on it.
All right, Matthew. What were your thoughts on this album?
I really love this album. I said it before, but this is my favorite Pink Floyd album. I just love how this is structured, how it's like we start with "Shine On You Crazy Diamond" and we end it. It's just like masterful work. It has my favorite Pink Floyd song of all time, "Wish You Were Here," which is just a very beautiful sounding song, very emotional song if you know the backstory. Um, yeah, this is just it's it's rightfully praised as one of the greatest albums of all time.
All right, well, no small praise there. All right, Santiago, you're up.
So I listened before of obviously Wish You Were Here, but I didn't listen this album completely. So it was, of course, it was my first time, and I gotta say that, yeah, this album it's close to, like, for me saying it's a masterpiece. You know, it's close to that. Uh, no, like in fact, yeah, like Wish You Were Here and Cry. What was the other one? Kind of Your Crazy Diamonds. Yeah, those two songs are like masterpieces in this album, and I just love like the pacing of it, how every song, you know, just kinda connect with each one, sort of almost like a concept album would do, you know. Uh, it's really great. Like it's a 40 minutes long album, and yet it doesn't feel like that. It feels like shorter because it's that good, you know. Like I enjoy every song of it. It's just great. It has a lot of energy. I just love how every song like has this evolution to it, like from the beginning and how it starts getting like sorry, somehow better and better over time. Um, yeah, they are great. They are great songs. Especially the first song and the last song, which are longer the longer songs in the album. Uh, as I said, they just don't feel like long. You know, like I never got bored listening to them. Like had a lot of fun listening to this song and the album overall. Yeah, it's it's literally what I will consider a masterpiece.
All right, well, um, my turn, I guess. I really liked this album. I thought, I mean, I've heard this album before, so I guess I shouldn't be talking like this was the first time I heard it. Yeah, I really like this album. As I said, I think at the beginning of this video, I do have it on vinyl, so I did listen to it there. Really good album. A bit hard to get the packaging, admittedly, but really good album. I quite like it. It's of course, kind of one of those must-own albums, really, if you're into rock, classic rock in general. Very good. Think I like Dark Side of the Moon a little bit better. That's the album before this in Pink Floyd's discography. But I really do like this one. I like this one. I think better than Animals or probably The Wall. Um, all of those are good. This is probably like my second favorite Pink Floyd album. It's a bit of basic take, I know, but still, I will say the best song on it, I think, is probably "Wish You Were Here," which is the title track. The worst song on it's probably "Have a Cigar," although I don't know. There's also "Welcome to the Machine," which like I'm not as big on as I am on like "Wish You Were Here" or like "Shine on Your Crazy Diamond." But yeah, but still, I mean, even the weaker tracks on this album are like still really good, and it all I think goes together and flows together really well. So yeah, I mean, really good album here. I quite like it. Of course. So yeah. Anyone have anything else to say?
Chris is a normie.
I,
Um,
sorry, uh, I love the cover. Great. We should also mention about the covers of the albums we listed. I don't know. It will be fun to also talk about the cover. So I gotta say that the cover is great. I love the cover. Very creative cover. It's of course as probably as iconic as Abbey Road cover,
Yeah.
probably.
I agree.
So yeah, very cool.
I would just say that Chris is a normie for saying that his favorite Pink Floyd album is Dark Side of the Moon.
To be fair, we've all had normie takes on this album. Like I think like normal, like just average Pink Floyd, like
Enjoyals.
listeners. Not
Average,
even enjoyers, just like normal people that have heard this album.
average
Think
Pink,
shit's bad.
average Pink Floyd enjoyer will be like, you say I'm a normie, but I also enjoy Adam Hortmover, so there's some people who don't. So
That's true.
don't
You
say
do
that.
enjoy
Don't
Adam.
say that I'm not a. Don't say that I'm a normie because I like Adam Hortmover.
It's true.
I'm just saying you're a normie for saying that Dark Side is your favorite when Wish You Were Here is right there.
Both are Bangle albums.
I would agree. But let's move on.
All right, let's move on. Well, now we're gonna go through each album, and well, I mean, we're gonna say which album we like better. And I don't think it probably takes a genius to figure out what we all are going to pick here. I have a sneaking suspicion that we're going to be a bit unanimous this time. It's been known to happen from time to time. And yeah, we're gonna start with you, Ben. Which album did you like better? I'm pretty sure I know.
It's Wish You Were Here.
All right. Moving on. Santiago. Which one of these? I mean,
Wait,
it's yeah, that's sorry. It should be Matthew. Matthew, which album did you like better?
Wish You Were Here. Enough said.
All right, Santiago.
If you were here, of course.
And of course, I am also going to be picking Wish You Were Here. Sorry to the Sex Pistol fans in the audience. I'm sure this is a very crushing defeat for them. They'll never be able to recover, but yeah. Alright, well, moving on. Now time to reveal who picked what album. Does anyone want to take a guess as to who picked which album?
I'd say Chris or Matthew, between Matthew or Chris pick Wish You Were Here.
Alright. Anyone else want to take a guess?
I feel like you picked the Sex Pistols, Chris, and Matthew picked Wish You Were Here.
Matthew, you want to take any shots?
I think Chris picks the Sex Pistols album.
Alright, drum roll. Alright, well, never mind the Bullocks, this was the Sex Pistols, was picked by me, and Wish You Were Here was picked by Matthew. So, people got it pretty close here this time. So yeah. I think, yeah, this one wasn't close at all, let's face it, in terms of which album we thought was better. Obviously, we have reached consensus as to which album was better, and, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, Wish You Were Here, we all think is better. None of us really cared for the Sex Pistols. Alright, well, if you made it Go ahead.
One of them literally sounds like Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
Yeah.
And one of them didn't, so.
Alright, well, if you made it to the end of this video, I want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Be sure to like and subscribe. That helps me out a lot. Once again, thank you. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.